Hi everyone, Dr. Joanne here. Welcome to this video, how I naturally healed my hot flashes and mood swings. So I'm a mind-body doctor and a mindset coach. I help women heal their bodies, their emotions, and their relationships through mind-body work and mindset coaching. So I'm a retired chiropractor, and several years ago, when I was actively practicing chiropractic, I ended up having Lyme disease while I was also starting to go through perimenopause. So, of course, in learning to heal myself, I took lots of extra seminars and courses and certifications. I became an expert in Lyme disease and in infectious diseases. I became an expert in balancing hormones and then digestive system and all of the stuff, all of the things that should have helped me. But all those things did was put me on restrictive diets and had me taking tons and tons of extra products that helped me for a little bit, but ultimately they didn't work. I would hold steady for a couple of months and then everything would come back again. So I would have to tweak what I was taking or tweak my diet again or take more products. And anyway, what I finally figured out when I got into mindset work, I then figured out for myself, it's all about what is triggering you. And that's a little bit different for everybody. So that's why I work with women to figure this stuff out, get to know yourself. Your mood swings, there's some emotional stress going on underneath. You're getting triggered by certain people and certain situations, certain things, and you don't even recognize it anymore. It's kind of like you're just, for me, from my experience, it was 2 weeks out of every month, I became a monster that I didn't recognize. And it was very humbling. It's like, oh my God, yelling at my kids, yelling at my husband. It was awful. Everybody was walking around on eggshells. My employee at my office, all the things, it was horrible. And I didn't know how to control it. I didn't know what to do. But finally, when I started doing mindset work and letting go of my years of indoctrination systems, my belief systems, my thoughts about not being good enough and not mattering and not being safe to speak my mind or do what I wanted to do, all of the things like that had me all twirled up, basically. So the slightest little thing would trigger me, and that was creating my mood swings. Granted, I was in perimenopause, so my hormones were shifting, but my emotional stress was the one that was what was blowing everything out of proportion. So once I learned how to look at my mind, gain control over my mind, turn around those limiting beliefs and those indoctrination systems and heal that part of my mind, then I no longer had the mood swings. I was able to sail through the rest of menopause, and to this day that I use my emotions as information. It's not to say that I'm never angry or never frustrated or irritated, but I catch it right away and I take note. What was I just thinking? What was I just doing? What's the lesson there? How can I move through this and let go of it as quickly as I possibly can? Where before I wouldn't pay attention to it and I would stuff it, I would bury it until I blew up later. So that was the key to my mood swings. It was my emotional stress. My hot flashes. My hot flashes were all intertwined here. It was about my underlying anger. So by the time though I started experiencing hot flashes, I'd already been working with several women on their own hot flashes, and 80% of them, it was all about anger. And not to say that they were angry all the time, but they were having the mood swings. They were having the outbursts. They were getting triggered by, people and situations. And once they could let that emotional trigger die down, then they were able to smooth out the hot flashes. For some women, it's overreaction on the fear side, like the anxiety, worrying about what if this happens, what if that happens. So for some women, a small pocket of women, in my experience, it has been the fear-driven things that pushes them into the hot flashes. Think about hot flashes as you're in fight or flight mode all the time, and it's either fear-driven or you're triggered, you're angry, you're losing your cool. It's one or the other, but for most women, it's anger, I believe, and that's what it was for me too. And here's what I did when I started experiencing the hot flashes. I had to just take a hot second. I was like, it took me by surprise. It was a couple of weeks before I really dove in and really, really took a look at it. So when I would have a hot flash, I would be like, all right, who am I with? What are we talking about? What was I just thinking? What was the conversation about? What was happening right before that hot flash started? I had to really, really dial in and tune in to what was going on. And for me, you know what it was? It was being around certain men who were controlling. They wanted to control the conversation. They wanted to be in charge. They wanted to be, they wanted to talk about what they wanted to talk about. And honestly, it was pissing me off. So that was my trigger. So that gave me a lot of information of, I am being triggered with anger. My buttons are being pushed. And for me, it was, I had to learn to heal from my indoctrination systems with the patriarchal system, where the men are in charge and the men know better and the men make all the decisions and blah, 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 blah. So that's been its own journey. And we all have to go through that. It depends on what we bought into in the indoctrination systems. So got a lot more information on that. But for me, my hot flashes were definitely triggered by things that certain men would say that would just either hurt my feelings or piss me off. So once I saw that, I could just like smooth it out and forgive it with the tools that I teach other women. And since then, I have not had, when I figured that out for myself, I've not had any more hot flashes. And that's been several years ago. And I ended up, like I said before, I ended up sailing through the rest of menopause. So if you want some more information on this, go to my playlist within my YouTube channel, my playlist called Menopause Made Easy. There are 6 lessons within that playlist. Go through all of those. It gives you a lot of background information on menopause and what's really going on. And if you want to look at it in a different way without using extra products or going through a very restrictive diet or anything like that, just to do it truly natural. The most natural way is using your mind, and it's all quantum physics, so it's scientific, and it frees you. It frees up every aspect of your life. So it's really amazing. So go look at that. Don't let I also mentioned in the YouTube on this channel in the playlist Menopause Made Easy, there's some references to a private Facebook group. I no longer am doing that private Facebook group, but the lessons are on my YouTube channel in the playlist Menopause Made Easy. So just want to make sure that is clear. But if you have any questions or you want to work with me, head over to my website, drjoannetully.com. I also offer a #1 roadblock to well-being discovery session. So I'll have the links for that in the video description down below. So if you want any more information and to look at this, and my major program where I teach women how to do this for themselves is Mastering Your Mindset for Women. That's on my website, and you can definitely schedule a chat with me if you want to take a look at everything first. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video if it was valuable for you, and share it out with someone else who might gain from this as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.